What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Today I have the settings guide for you, which we're going to be going through as fast as possible. I quickly wanted to say something. I've been working on my settings for this game for about 2 hours. I am originally a Battlefield player, so these settings do translate as well as I could possibly make them for Battlefield players. For Call of Duty players, you might want to tweak around a little bit more, but you could use my settings as a baseline. Also, there is some bugs, quite a lot of bugs in this game for the console version. Some buttons won't really properly work, and I tried to mess around with the button layout for controller. Unfortunately, I couldn't. If you didn't know, the game has released for console today. If you're watching this today, on the 19th of August, you can download it right now, both on PlayStation and Xbox. But yeah, again, I tried to mess around with the settings for 2 hours, found something somewhat comfortable, but there's definitely some work that needs to be done on the input of controller, and the aim assist as well. The aim assist in this game is not very good, and there's no zoom snap aim assist, which I think is really good, but the slowdown aim sensitivity doesn't really work that well or that consistent, so that's a bit strange. But I found something that's quite comfortable, I guess. So I wanted to share those settings. Starting off with the crossplay setting here, which I believe is not available on Xbox. I'm not 100% sure. That's what I've heard. I couldn't test this myself. I would recommend it to keep this off. I would normally never really recommend anything with crossplay. You should do whatever you prefer in this game. And trust me, I have put about 500 hours on mouse and keyboard in this game. This game, you're going to have such a big advantage with mouse and keyboard over controller in this game. The input just needs a lot of work in this game, so I recommend turning this off. You will just simply be at a disadvantage, unfortunately. I keep all these on. Scope magnification adapts automatically. This is basically if you have a field of view and you want your zoom to stay at the field of view or not. So if you have a high field of view and you ADS with an iris sight, for example, you're going to keep your field of view, so it doesn't look like you zoom in as much. If you turn this off, you're going to zoom in a lot more. So this is a bit of a personal preference. You will notice a big of a difference when you run a higher field of view. So that's something worth trying out or not. I keep this on personally. Left all these at default. This is a threshold for how expensive an item needs to be for it to be automatically put in your save box. Sometimes if you pick up super expensive items in the extractor shooter, this is it automatically goes into your save box. If you want more expensive items to automatically go in your save box, you need to up this number a bit. Going into the main settings here, the controller settings. So this is what I came up with. You can copy these numbers. You will get the exact same settings that I've been trying out and using. If it's gonna feel good, maybe not, maybe yes. I'll talk you through it and tell what everything kind of does. So let's start off with the dead zones. Dead zones is literally how far you need to put your thumbstick for it to move. I put this lower. You don't want to put this on 0. If you put this on 0, you're going to experience stick drift really quickly. Even if you don't at the time right now, you probably just bought a new controller. Do not put these at 0 because you're going to be going through a lot of new controllers. So this is the numbers that I came up with. Stick response curve. I tried linear. Linear kind of makes the most sense if you want to build consistent muscle memory and have a consistent aim. In this game, it doesn't really work that smoothly. I tried dynamic as well. I ended up going with standard, even though I would really love for linear to work properly. I went with standard for now. It felt a lot better. Then sensitivity preset, this is by default, it's on low. You can try and just put it to high or medium, see if that's something you like. But I went with custom because then you get all these settings you can change. So this is a bit of a personal setting, the horizontal hipfire sensitivity. I put it quite high. It can go up to 500. You can tweak this to whatever you like. If you want to lower sensitivity, you should probably lower this number. But what is important, I think, is that you want to have a lower vertical sensitivity. This is something I would never really recommend in any game, but in this game it feels much better to have a little bit of a lower vertical sensitivity and a higher horizontal sensitivity. So these are the numbers I came up with. So you can see about 1/3 less for the vertical sensitivity for hipfire aim. Then this is the acceleration. I tried 0. It doesn't really feel that smooth in this game, so I ended up with the numbers of 50. This is definitely a setting that I would recommend trying out. Same with the hipfire turning activation and turn delay. The exact difference between this is a little bit vague, but these are the numbers I tried and they felt quite good. Here, ADS horizontal sensitivity. This is also a number you should tweak to what you personally like to have. I ended up going with 200 for horizontal and 150 for the ADS. Again, a lower vertical sensitivity than a horizontal sensitivity. Again, went with 50 for the dead zone accelerations here, and 30 with the turning activation. This is the only one I have to 0. That's ADS turn delay. This is when you want to kind of flick two targets. How long that will take, so that's why I put it on 0. Set sensitivity per zoom. I kept this all at default. There's unfortunately no uniform soldier sensitivity in this game. Would have been very nice, but it's unfortunately not there in the game. So this is what I ended up going with. Also, a setting that I think is quite important is the transition mode. So by default, it's ADS transition, which sounds very smooth. For some reason in this game, I've found it to be a lot better if it's toggle at start of ADS. So try that out, see if you like it or not. I would definitely try and at least recommend trying it out. Scope magnification adapts automatically. That's what we already talked about earlier. That's with the field of view, if your zoom changes with your FOV or not. Then here we have ground vehicle sensitivity. These are basically the same numbers as I put as infantry. So I put 450 here, 300 here. With the third person, I went a little bit slower. But these are basically the same sensitivities as I have for infantry. Did the same here for aircraft and for the gunner as well. These are, again, very high sensitivities. It's just most important to note that I have a different vertical sensitivity than a horizontal sensitivity, but definitely put these lower if you don't find these comfortable to use. I didn't change any of the zoom sensitivities. Aim assist switch, I turned this on. That's the only thing you can do. There's no zoom snap. There's only slowdown in this game, and you can turn it on or off. Definitely recommend turning it on. It doesn't feel very strong. It feels a little bit weird, to be honest. Might be me getting needing some time to get used to it. But this is what I've been using. So controls, I didn't change much besides the button layout, which we're going right here. So I have, that's right here. I have L1 and R1 swapped. So I shoot with my top triggers and I do all the other stuff with L2 and R2. So I switch those around. And then for the controls, I switched crouch, prone hold to R3, and then the knifing is quick melee is on circle, so I switched those two around. The rest is all on default settings. Same with here, same with here. Then we have the minimap settings here. These are all preference if you want to have it or not. Take a good look at them. I just left them at default. Minimap, I only changed the zoom for infantry, so it zooms out a little bit more. You can see a little bit more on your minimap when you have that. And rotating perspective, I have that on, so it makes more sense to me because I have been using that in previous games. For graphics, I have VSync I have to turned off, and the frame, you can then change to graphics or frame rate. I went with frame rate. So the game feels a lot smoother. VSync, you can use it, but it will introduce additional input latency. So if you want a game to feel a little bit smoother, I would definitely recommend turning it off. Default FOV. And then the volumes are all at default. These are definitely personal. You can try and mess around with them. Personally left them at default, but the audio input is on headphones. And then these are some privacy components where you can change some of their settings with your friends or the chats and stuff like that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Hopefully this was helpful. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.